Hey everybody, welcome to the official Do Good Better podcast. I'm your host, Patrick Kirby. And of course, we talk with people who are going to help our small and medium-sized nonprofits do good better. And sometimes those same people who run small and medium-sized nonprofits are the perfect people to ask questions about helping your medium and small-sized nonprofits. With me today, Executive Director of the People's Rising Academy, Jodi Plecity. Welcome to the official Do Good Better podcast.
Hey, Patrick.
Very excited to have you on the show. I have known you for quite some time, and yet we have never done a podcast together. So this gives us a perfect reason to chat. But when somebody is like kind of floating through iTunes or Spotify, or maybe they find us on YouTube and they're like, wow, people write again. That sounds like something that I would like to know about, but they don't know about it. So for a 5,000-foot view, who are you? What do you do? And why we're talking today?
All right. Sounds good. Let's do it.
Floor is yours. You get to talk about yourself. Go.
Well, everybody, I'm Jodi Plecity, and I'm the Executive Director and co-founder of People's Rising Academy. I've also been an entrepreneur for about 20 years. I've started from ground up some businesses in the Fargo area, sold some businesses, slithered into the nonprofit side, you could say, the last few years of my life. And I really enjoy it. I enjoy the people I've got to meet, Patrick being one of them. And I just love helping people. I love connecting people also to all the wonderful nonprofits in the community. So that's one of the biggest things that I've taken away from that is, have your connections, and nonprofits like to help other nonprofits. That's the cool part of it that I really enjoy. So with that, I started People's Rising Academy from a life change of my own. About 3 years ago, we started it. My good friend, Dr. Miles Brooks, and I, he's the director of care. He is a chiropractic, functional medicine, kinesiologist, and neurologist doctor. He completely transformed my life to where I was just like, wow, like pinch me. Did this really happen? I lost 150 pounds through diet and exercise, healthiest I've been in my life. I do powerlifting. I love it. I'm the strongest I've ever been. And honestly, the biggest part of it is taking care of my mental well-being, because if I don't do that, then I can't help other people. And that's what I got to do. That's my drive and my mission. So we're a holistic-based, research-backed, patient-centered life change program. Okay. I know that's a lot in a nutshell. We help people who are really suffering chronic pain and, fibromyalgia, things like that have really either just bad genetics or been dealt a bad hand at life. I've just been through a lot of traumatic, life events. And we want to help those people who want to get better and don't know how. And maybe conventional medicine isn't working for them. So this is a completely different route. It's kind of like a boot camp style thing where it's high accountability with what you do. Dr. Miles takes you in. We do a very extensive examination, and back history, your whole life basically, because a lot of these traumatic things we found stem from even childhood events and things that just haven't been dealt with over the years. And then all of a sudden they come to fruition and it just explodes, And my message is I want to just make sure that people know you don't have to suffer. You don't have to have chronic pain every day and depression. That's not normal. So he helped me out of that rut. And I'm just like, yes, we're going to help other people. So a lot of times what we do is maybe more preventative care maintenance and some things that, kind of the health insurance side tosses back and forth. So financially, obviously, we don't want people to not try this route because they can't afford it, because it works. So we just want to help those people. So that's what we do.
I love it. How do you go about finding potential clients? How do you go about sort of interacting with those who you really think would benefit from not only the programs that you work on, but really just sort of would align well with sort of the PRA's sort of mission itself?
Yeah, honestly, Patrick, it's a lot of word of mouth, because I'll be honest with you, people that were suffering like I was, so a lot of times it's very difficult for that person to say to someone, I need help. That was one of the most difficult thing I ever said out of my mouth, was to look at somebody and be like, just distraught, like, I need help, please help me. So I really try to tell all my friends, connections, hey, this is the program. However, we all probably know somebody that is suffering or needs our help. So it's up to you to kind of like guide that person or give them the resources. Hey, this program might be able to help you. So that's a big part of it, honestly, Patrick. And then also, we just did 6 weeks on the North Dakota Today show, which really gave us a leg up as far as explaining our program, because people, it's not anything like you've ever seen. It's not anything, especially in the Midwest here. So they don't really understand it. At first, they think, oh, is this an exercise program? Is this the diet fad? And I can tell you, no, it's not any of those things. It's more of an internal root problem, build you back up. Yes, it involves nutrition. Yes, it'll probably involve exercise, but it's way more than that.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like, if you want to get into it, there's an application program where Dr. Miles reviews all your past stressors in your life, the things you're dealing with medically and stuff, and basically the will. Honestly, if you have the will to want to do it, then hey, we're going to help you the best we can. So that's kind
Running a
of
nonprofit is pretty fun. And I say that both sarcastically and honestly. And I think it can be a lot of challenges for especially a young organization like yourself. Is there one particular story that you think about a lot or use as a this is why we do it moment when things get rough?
Well, honestly, I just look back at Fred and Anna Lassonde. It was a couple that we took in a few years ago under our program, and it was just kind of a weird connection situation. I was actually got asked to speak at an International Women's Day event, like literally last minute. And it actually, I wasn't asked, I was told, hey, you're coming to speak here. And I was like, okay. So I came, and Anna happened to be in the back. She was an artist selling her paintings, and it just resonated with her, my talk. And that really gives me hope, and especially when people reach out, even after North Dakota Today show, every show, my phone would blow up. I would get emails, I would get questions. We had 17 applicants come through, and just hearing people's stories. Like, example, I had a 4-hour and 26-minute phone call with a woman I had never met. And I wasn't exaggerating. I screenshotted my phone and I showed Dr. Miles. I'm like, but it was fantastic. And the thing is, this lady, even though she might not need our program or something like that, or might not qualify or go into it, she's like, Jodi, you honestly changed my life. Just that phone call, just talking about it. And, I told her a little bit about my struggles and the things I went through with my program, vice versa. A lot of times people just need someone to talk to too. And I love it. And that inspires me. When I can just openly talk to people about my life change and they get excited about it, then that's thumbs up. So
what is one of the bigger or harder challenges that you found running a nonprofit, and how do you overcome that particular thing? Or like, was there a big thing that's just harder than most things? And then what's the solution to that?
Well, obviously financially, that is a huge side of it that has been a struggle. And it's getting, you get people excited about the program and how it works and things, but it's like, how do we fund this program? So I've tried a lot of different avenues. And then of course we hit COVID, because we were going to go out, Dr. Miles and I, and start talking to businesses about what we do in our program. And then, that happened. So then we couldn't go out and talk to people. So we kind of just sat on the back burner for a little bit. So, honestly, the financial part has been the biggest struggle for us. But it's gaining traction. We had we were part of, Giving Hearts Day, which is a small part of it. But then we also have the Garden of Healing is another spin-off program, actually, last summer, that I happened to meet Sarah and Arlen Fisher, the founders, and then they invited me in as a co-founder for phase 2. So that's also another aspect of healing and another way we're able to raise funds. And I think this is going to be a very positive avenue for us, because the thing is, people resonate more to like the park and they want to do a brick engraved for someone, or a bench, or plant a tree. But then also the thing is, if someone needs more extensive healing, then PRA is also a connection to that. So this is definitely going to be a positive thing. So I guess you could say obstacle, it just appeared, poof, and I grabbed onto it and said, you know what, this is going to be a good thing. So
it's no doubt your entrepreneurial background helps in the running and or starting and or pivoting in the nonprofit world, I am sure. Is there a tip or a trick that you have learned in your very, sort of small time as a nonprofit leader here that you would be able to pass on to another organization that might be listening, that might be in need of a little bit of guidance? They don't really know what they're doing, but is there something that you're like, you know what? I had an aha moment. I'd like to share it with you.
Be engaged. That's the biggest thing. You can use social media. It's a wonderful platform, but going to events, being a part of, the Chamber Connect, these groups online, going to business after hours, going to we did a booth at the Home and Garden show, and those are big ways to engage with the community. And especially when you're a nonprofit or a new nonprofit, even, that's just the best way to get the word out. Carry business cards in your car all the time. I have my pamphlets in my car and flyers all the time, because you never know. You got to be ready when it's go time. If you have an individual or somebody you're meeting with and they're like, hey, what's that? Or, hey, I'll take some flyers and put them here at our office. Have that stuff with you. I'm like a mobile advertising unit in my car. So always be prepared.
I love it. Passive marketing never really works when you're trying to kickstart something. And again, think of it like a brand new business. If nobody knows who you are or what you do, nobody's going to stop by and get the things that you want them to give. And speaking of which, how on earth do people get a hold of you, and how on earth do people give to you and the People's Rising Academy?
So peoplesrising.org. That's our website, or you can go to gardenofhealingfargo.com. But both of those sites are interlinked to each other. So you can go there and just click the donate now button and send me a message, or, follow us on Facebook. We've got, all of our separate Facebook pages, People's Rising Academy, Garden of Healing. And I've got some other stuff that I do too. So I cross mingle that too. That's what I've found is beneficial. If you have that.
Part of your message of get out there and do the dang stuff.
Do it.
It's clearly written all over your website and stuff. And go ahead, and so we'll have all those in the show notes. So as soon as this podcast is done, you push stop, and then go and click on a bunch of stuff. While you're there, go and click and like and follow and share this podcast. That's what you should probably do, because you're going to get more guests like this. And then immediately go back and go click on People's Rising, and then just go follow and give as much as you possibly can. Jodi, thank you so much. For being sort of the one entity that you can always like, I know she's going to be at this. I got to be at that too. I know she's speaking at it. I should be listening. Thanks for being a really great doer and practitioner of what you preach, which is getting out there and telling your story as many times as possible in whatever setting it is. You're doing amazing things, and appreciate you. But most of all, appreciate you for being a guest here on the official Do Good Better podcast.
Thanks, Patrick. You're awesome. Keep rocking it.
Woo.